Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how I made this super adorable Adventure Times pod charm. The process was pretty simple and the supplies were pretty minimal too. So first off, I'm going to show you guys what I used to make this. The first item is a Sculpey clay mat. I like to use it because the clay doesn't really stick to the surface you're working on and you can also bake on it. The next thing is some black acrylic paint, some pink acrylic paint, some white acrylic paint, some triple thick for glazing, a paintbrush to apply the glaze, an assortment of dotting and blending tools. I use these to blend the clay together, and also I use them to paint the facial features onto the charms. A clay roller, some sort of cutting tool. You can use a blade like this, or a plastic tool like this. Some green clay, some yellow clay, some black clay, peppermint colored clay for Bimo, some red clay, white clay, skin color clay for Finn, and some gray clay. First thing you're going to want to do is make sure your hands are super clean. We're going to be working with the white clay first. Break off about the size that you want to make Finn's head and start working it around in your hands while slowly forming it into a small ball. You want it to be circular, but not too circular. The next thing you're going to want to do is take really small pieces of clay, just work them around in your hands, and make a cylinder slash tic-tac size. More like a tic-tac. Once you're done with it, place it on Finn's head, but don't blend it in yet because we're going to make the other one and you may have to make adjustments. So, make the other tic-tac ear. Make sure it's the size of the other one that we just made. And now you can start adjusting them and blending them. It doesn't have to be perfect at this step because we can always adjust more later. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is grab the color that you want to use for Finn's face and start working it around in your hands like we did before. Make sure you're using a really small piece. This is just going to be like the opening of his hat where you see his eyes and his mouth. And form it into a oval-like bean shape and make sure it's really thin because we're going to be placing it just on top of his hat like this. Once you have it positioned like you want, just start working it around and blending it into the hat. Now we're going to make Jake's head. Try to make it the size that we made Finn's head and then compare them after to make sure that they're correct. Now we're going to be making Jake's jowls. Once again, you're going to need a really small piece of clay and start working it in your hand and slowly form an upside down U. You want it to be kind of thin, so just keep adjusting it until you get the right size. Once you feel like you've got it to the size you want it to be, place it on his face and just start adjusting. I like to make the top of it not too pointy like I have right here, so just keep bending it and blending until you get the look that you want. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine, so just make it how you want it to be. Now we're going to make Jake's small little ears. Once again, take really small pieces of clay and just flatten them out into little circles and place them on either sides of his face. Adjust them until they're about even. Now I made Bimo's head the same way I made Finn's head and Jake's head. I couldn't find a specific shade for the screen on Bimo's face, so all you have to do is take a portion of white clay and a portion of the peppermint clay and mix them together. Of course, you want to have more of the peppermint clay than you do the white clay. It's hard to tell, but the shade that I have in my right hand is lighter than the one that I have in my left hand. So once you get to the shade that you want, just break a small piece off and flatten it out to make the shape of Bimo's screen. Place it on his face and just keep blending it and smoothing it out until you get the look that you want. So here are all three pieces together. Next, we're going to be making the smaller features on our little figures, like the eyes and all of the buttons on Bimo. So to make Finn's eyes, you're going to start off with a very small piece of clay. and just work it around in your hands until you get a size that you want. I like making my eyes really small, so that's why I'm taking a small piece of clay. But I mean, if you want to have your eyes larger than mine or even smaller than mine, feel free to do so. Something else I like is having my eyes really far apart. I think it makes it cuter. But once again, you can do whatever you want to your eyes or any part of this tutorial. Now Jake's eyes are a little different. You're going to have a larger piece of clay that you're going to be working with for both of his eyes. You're going to start off with the black and have them flat like I have right here. Next, I'm just putting his little nose under his jowl. And then you're going to take some white clay and make just slightly smaller circles and place them on top of the ones you had before. I didn't record myself making BMO's buttons because most of them are just circles, so just take different colors of clay and place them on him. Now for one of the final and last steps. Take your green clay and start rolling it out with your clay roller like I'm doing here. And right now we are making the pea pod that Finn, Jake, and BMO are going to be in. I'm making mine kind of thin, but at the same time keeping it thick enough so that it can wrap around all three of the characters without tearing. At this point, just adjust it to the size that you want it and pinch the pod around them and also pinch the edges. Now that we're done, you can place something like an eye pin in it if you want to make it into a charm, or you can even just bake it like this. And voila! Time to bake. Once your charm has cooled off and is out of the oven, it is time to paint on the rest of the details. So I'm going to be taking this black paint and painting on Finn's mouth, Jake's mouth, and BMO's mouth. Now for Finn and BMO's mouth, I'm going to be making a super cute kind of like an open mouth, like a hey, how's it going kind of face. And for Jake, I'm using just a simple smile because he already has a lot going on in his face with that big old jowl thing. So I thought a simple smile would just be better. Right now, I'm just painting on the black like I said. And then I'm going to add some pink after for their tongues. Now I'm just using very small amounts of paint at a time because it's easy to add, but not so easy to take away. I also decided that for Finn and BMO, I would add a little bit of pink blush under their eyes, and I think they came out really cute. So now I'm just going to use my triple thick and my brush to start glazing the finished product. Also, if you want, you can skip the glazing process. I just like the way it comes out whenever I'm done. I didn't get any footage after it dried, so this is going to be the last clip. Just thank you guys for watching so much. I really appreciate it. And if you have any comments or suggestions, because I'm definitely not the clay master, leave them in the comment section below. And also, I will be uploading about once a week, so stay tuned. And if you are interested in my day-to-day updates, follow me on Instagram. And also, I'm going to be uploading some game footage on my other channel, so check that out too.